But speaking of the things that maybe get blown out of proportion, we're going to move on and talk about Ubisoft. Ubisoft Exec. Everyone wants to bring in Klaus Schwab. WEF, World Economic Forum guy that I think at one point he said you'll own nothing and be happy about it. I think, or just at least how that's quote's been brought in, shortened. I was trying to find a clip of him saying it, and I can't find it online, so I'm like, or at least it wasn't available right away online, so I'm kind of like, does it exist? If you guys know the clips, send me a copy of it. This is also by Wesley Yin Poole at IGN. Ubisoft Exec says gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. And of course, people big into physical game ownership took umbrage with this, but let's read the article. An exclusive at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft has said gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games before video game subscriptions can take off. Speaking to discuss the launch of Ubisoft's new Ubisoft Plus and premium Ubisoft Plus classic subscriptions. Oh boy, another subscription service. Philippe Tremblay, director of subscriptions at Ubisoft, explained to GI.biz what needs to happen before subscription services become a more significant slice of the video game business. I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription services out there, we have a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but still relatively small compared to other models, Tremblay said. We're seeing expansions on consoles as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. On PC, from a Ubisoft standpoint, it's already been great. We were looking to reach out more on PC, so we see opportunity there. See, more PC. Luis Rossman quotes it heavily. Hey, Alpha Sloth, how's it going? One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVDs, having and owning their games. This is where people got mad. Consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collections or DVD collections. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress is still there. It's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. I still have 2 DVD boxes. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with that. But as people embrace that model, they will see that the games will exist. The service will continue. You'll be able to access them when you feel like. That's reassuring. So, this quote here by, what is his name here? Philip Tremblay. Saying that people need to get comfortable owning their games. Not owning their games. Oh, I guess he continues quote here. Streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscriptions. So if you pay when you need it, or as opposed to paying all the time. And of course, the mention that hasn't gone well with some gamers that prefer to buy and own their video games. This, of course, has been a kind of thing with sort of games moving forward. Last week, we talked about Best Buy removing a lot of their physical media from their area. So, is this, people are, I think, genuinely worried for legit reason. Like, are we going to see games move more and more towards digital? And of course, they mentioned, and even in this article, developer Remedy Entertainment was heavily criticized for releasing Alan Wake 2 as a digital-only video game to keep the price below $70. So some people are releasing digital-only versions of games. And then, to sort of reduce cost, which, I mean, is kind of a nice thing. You have seen, like, the most downloaded game was that Suika game on Nintendo, for their platform, but that's, only $3. You do have, like I said, or like Lethal Company, which, is sort of like cheaper indie games that do extremely well that are already, digital only. They don't want to have, they're smaller, developer, publisher, self-published. They don't want to have to go through all of the sort of rigmarole of actually, releasing a physical game. So you can have, cheaper games like that. So there's advantages to those sort of things. Or you're even seeing like new releases being available on Xbox Plus. Like, hey, new game's out. You can try it for the first month, and they're kind of hoping that after you try it, you'll like it enough that you'll keep it after that first month, or you'll buy the full version after that first month. And if like you could potentially, still play it and own it, and you just keep your progress after the subscription service, it could be a very compelling way to kind of play a game and try it, and then, I like this enough, I'm going to keep it, or I'm going to buy the full version once that trial period is done. Or if you don't like it, like, screw this, or I just, I beat it within a month. So that could potentially, again, lead to people like, or with like Steam, where you can refund it after the first 2 hours, kind of developers putting in stuff to kind of get you, trick you into playing for 2 hours, or, kind of like make sure you don't put it down for the first 2 hours, get past that area before really getting into the game. That could be a thing, but I'm not sure. But this digital only, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's ever going to fully happen. Maybe. It's really hard to say. Like, I can't see people fully giving up physical games. But to be fair, physical games have really kind of gone downhill from the day like they first came out. Like, if you remember back in the day, if you're older like I am, when, sort of the games had manuals that were really cool, or they came with stuff that were cool, these like little, like thank yous for buying it. I mean, there has been collector's editions that have been coming out. I don't know, a lot of those collector's editions seem expensive for no good reason. I don't know if we'll see a future where the sort of physical version of the game is kind of like a collector's edition. Hopefully not, like people scalping the crap out of it, collector's edition, but something that maybe you will play a little more for, but it's something really neat, something really nice. The game look, like the disc itself looks good. It's something, that's well put together, as opposed to what you get now, which just seems like the cheapest thing possible to have. And there used to almost be an art to it. The idea of like, I still remember being a kid, and maybe it's just because I was a kid, but when you had the sort of Legend of Zelda, the original NES carts, the fact that they were like gold, I thought was like super freaking cool. Or even like I don't know if it was like, there was an N64 one that was like gold too, but I can't remember. Was it Pokemon Stadium? One of them, like, instead of like the regular gray, you'd have like a gold version of it. Or like, of course, the carts for Pokemon Red and Blue. You had the red, blue, you had yellow, they're the actual colors of the games. The carts themselves, I thought that was like really cool. I don't know if that seems something that's kind of like lost today in physical media, or, doesn't seem as big, this sort of art, kind of selling it, making it look really nice. That has gone away along with these sort of manuals themselves. Now it just, that sort of aspect just kind of fallen at the wayside.